My name's Stephen Hann from Archery Supplies. Today I'm here to look at the PSE Supra for 2017. The Supra was released in 2016 in this version. We call it the Batman bow because of the shape of it, and it was hugely successful. Now when they first brought out this bow in 2016, replacing the 2015 version, which was a completely different design, I didn't think this bow was going to be successful, and for 2016 this bow was hugely successful for PSE. The problems I thought the PSE faced with 2016 was the weight of the bow. They increased the weight of the bow, and the previous year's Supra was very, very popular due to the weight, due to being a lighter bow. And I thought this bow would be too heavy for most people, and I was wrong. So the things that I didn't like about the PSE 2016 bow, the cable guard's been replaced to a new machined carbon rod, which is angled. So you can see it angled in. It has a new roller slide system here, which is much of an improvement on the 2016 version. You can retrofit the new cable guard and the cable slide to the old 2016 version if you have a 2016 version. The PSE also allows you to move the limbs left to right. It's been changed for 2017. Now it's just one screw there to do it. Now I don't recommend doing it. I've experimented with it and I haven't had, basically I don't know why you do it. I mean, I know why the theory is. The theory is you can move the limbs left and right, you can change your tears and your arrows. When you're paper tuning, people get tears in the arrows. I generally find tears and arrows are through hand torque and the way you're holding the bow. So I tend not to play with any of this stuff. The other thing, PSE here, this is a locking screw, and what it is, it's a little wedge which fits in there. It's a wedge which looks like that. It comes up and it pushes these limbs against these pockets here. Now these are the same pockets that you see on the PSE Expression, the top of the line product. This is completely machined out of one billet of steel. The Supra for 2017 comes in new colours. This is the new purple. It also comes in a new lime green. It comes in platinum, which is the most popular of the colours for Supra. It comes in black. It comes in white. Now the white is a powder coat finish. It's a metallic white. Now I didn't have much luck with the whites. Because it's a paint finish, the paint can chip, and I did have 2 people complain about the paint basically chipping off, around points like that. Now, I mean, it's a paint finish as opposed to anodized, so if you're going to be fussy with it, go for anodized, because anodizing basically is nothing can go wrong with it. So the lines here to change the positions of the limbs. Now the PSE Supra is, I'm going to get this wrong, 38 inches axle to axle. Draw length is 25 to 30 and a half. IBO of 325, so it's about 10 feet per second faster than the Expression. Brace height is 7 inches. Sorry, axle to axle 37 inches, not 38. And you're allowed 13 turns of the limb bolts here. So what other coloured things? The draw length is really easy to adjust on all PSEs. Basically you see letters here, A being the longest, D is what comes factory set on 29. So this is a cable stop here. So you've got to match the number of this with the number here on the module. You don't need a bow press to do this. It also has the option for and it comes with a limb stop for the top. And it also comes with 75% and 65% modules, all included in the price. So if you want to change the draw length or you want to change the let off, you just fit the module. No bow press needed. You need torque heads, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see that just there. Torque heads, one there. Now the second one is hidden behind the limb a little bit. So to get access to that, basically it's just a matter of pulling on one of the strings a little bit to get that to open up so you can get access to it. But it's it's very easy to work on. The PSE bows are very, very simple and easy to work on. You've got a string stop, which is fairly standard. I shoot without a string stop. These are new strings from PSE. In the past, PSE have used America's Best. These are made at the PSE factory by a computer. So matching colours. So if you've got a purple bow, they're purple strings, blue bow, blue strings, red bow, red strings. Now the silver bow, the platinum, comes with red strings. So if you're going to fit it out with blue accessories, you're best to change the strings to blue to make it look pop, to make it sort of stand out. Now all PSEs have little timing marks there, and I think there. That basically tells you if the bow's in time. It doesn't affect the way the bow shoots, because on the back here, this is a perfect round wheel. So basically there's no draw stop there. On the Hoyt hybrid cam system, which I'll show you in a sec, that is not a round wheel, it's actually a cam system here. So if the bow's not timed, you'll get a rocking motion. It's not the case with this bow, because it's a perfect round wheel, so it cannot rock. If this bow was out of time, it's like a single cam, really, like the Matthews single cam system. I mean, it's not a single cam, but it performs like a single cam. It basically doesn't come out of time. Now, if the strings were out of time, what you would notice is poundage would be different. So you'd lose a bit of poundage if the string stretches, but basically these things are pretty bulletproof. Now, in 2016, this bow for me was a huge seller. It wasn't my biggest selling target bow, it was close to it, and we're going to go through the other target bows of 2016 and 2017 now. Price point on this bow, roughly 1,400 Australian dollars. I think it's about 1,000 American dollars, which puts it at the cheaper end of the target bow range. And I think that's part of the reason why this bow's been so popular. Obviously the looks look awesome. It's a really hot looking bow, looks great out on the target range. And the other thing I think what people like about this, most of my archers and customers are recreational shooters, so they're not sponsored shooters, and at the price point of this bow, they can compete against people with the $2,000+ bows. So in my state, there's about 6 sponsored archers in this state. They're sponsored by Hoyt. So when I turn up to a Hoyt, I've got the Hoyt guys there all shooting their bows which have been given to them, which is great. And now if you're shooting this bow, you're shooting your bow basically almost half the price. And the bow is probably going to be faster, 1, it's more adjustable, 2, and I don't think you're giving up anything on quality or performance. These are compression limbs, so what this does, it puts more tension on the strings and cables. This is very much like the Hoyt Hyper Edge, but the Hyper Edge is actually shorter, so this bow is easy to shoot. So when I come up against customers shooting a Hyper Edge, people that are shooting a Hyper Edge at a tournament, I'm not going to say, they're not going to beat me because it's a great bow, but this bow should be easier to shoot than a Hyper Edge. A Hyper Edge was designed for 3D archery. This was designed for a target bow. I mean, you can definitely shoot it for 3D, but this is a target bow. It's got positions to fit low stabilizers here. You can add weights down here and here. But to me, overall, this is a nice, simple bow. The colours really pop. And what I want to do is I want to compare some of the other target bows if you're looking at target archery. Now this bow, believe it or not, was my biggest selling target bow of 2016. It's the Wind & Wind Dragonfly. And one of the reasons why it's really popular is the price point. This bow is priced at $1,000. It comes in really bright colours. Wind & Wind had a lot of success with this bow. They won the Paralympics. There's people shooting on World Archery at $1,000, so very, very cheap. It has a hybrid cam system like the PSE, but on the top here it's not a round wheel, it's basically a cam design system here. So this bow has to be timed. It has modules, so basically rotating modules, so very much like the Supra. It's a paint finish. It comes in lots of great colours, but to me it doesn't have the compression limbs that the PSE Supra has. And in fact, I've had quite a few people buy this bow. The bow's lighter, so this bow is preferred by women and younger men because of the weight is physically lighter. Also, it looks pretty. They come out in some pretty marble colours. but I've had a few customers swap from this to Supras when they've shot the Supra. So, but this has been my biggest selling bow, and the Supra, I would say, started catching up towards the end of the year to these sales. Right now the Supra has surpassed this in sales, so that's the Dragonfly. Now, new for 2017 from Matthews is the Halon Pro Comp X. This has just come out, I haven't even shot it yet. Price point on this bow, I'm going to guess, is around 1800, so it puts it beyond the price point of the Supra. So about the price, so if you take the Supra, add a good target sight to it, that's basically the price of this bow. So if money's no object, this would be a bow to look at. I'm not saying it's better or worse than the Supra, I haven't actually shot it yet. But this is a bow, if you're serious in target archery, would be one you're looking at. Draw length on this, you have to buy modules to change the draw length and let off. And this is a twin cam system, so the top cam and the bottom cam are the same. So this bow needs to be timed to be basically shoot, otherwise you'll get a rocking motion. Overall a nice bow, but with the Supra you've got the advantage of the rotating modules, difference in let off, and you've also got the stops with the PSE. You've got the cable stop and the string stop and the limb stop. Now the Hoyts are really popular in target archery. They have lots of success, and Hoyt sponsor a lot of archers. They look hot. They're nice looking bows. The finish is top class. This is the Podium, which has been replaced with a new bow for 2017. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Basically, it's virtually unaltered the 2017 model. It's got your pivoting cable guard like the PSE. It's a riser which looks a bit like the Expression, so the dual riser here. Now it doesn't have the compression limbs. The compression limbs are available in the Hyper Edge, which is a shorter bow for 3D, so you get more shock when you shoot this bow. The draw length is not as adjustable as the Supra. I think you get about 1.5 inches of draw length adjustment with this, and you'll notice here with this cam here, this is actually cam at the top, so the bow's got to be in time, top and bottom. Now many shooters shoot really good scores with this. I find you get more shock with this than the Supra to shoot, and the price point on this bow may be $2,300, so it's really priced at the PSE Expression. But the difference between the Expression and the Supra, I find, is minimal. So if I was looking at a bow, I look at the price point and I go, which way do I go? But I've got no problems of, I've got customers who own this bow and they also own a Supra, and they prefer the Supra to shoot, and they shoot the Supra basically most of the time. And I've got customers who've got the Hyper Edge and Supras, and they shoot the Supra most of the time. So, but by all means, try out the different bows. So back to the Supra, what I want to do is I want to take it outside and do a speed test with it. We're going to shoot it, tell you how it shoots, and then I'm going to get some of my staff who work here. They can shoot any bows, and I'm not pulling them up because it's like, I'm asking them to lie or anything. They actually choose Supras as bows, as a bow of choice. So I'm kind of going to show you their bows, show you what they shoot. And I think, and I'll let them talk, I think they choose this bow because it shoots good and it's priced well, as far as it's not, it's not a huge investment of, like the Podiums or the Expressions, and it still has the performance and it still shoots really well. But we'll do a cross to them and I'll show you their bows because they all have different color Supras. So, but basically everyone who works in my shop, except for me, shoots a PSE Supra. I mean, they have other bows as well, but their target bow is a PSE Supra. So, and to me, that's a huge calling on this bow. It's not what I expected in 2016. I didn't expect women to pick the Supra up. I thought it'd be too heavy. But like my partner, her daughter, both shoot Supras. And I probably think the bow's still too heavy for her daughter. In mass weight, she shoots it with no weights on the stabilizer, but shoots great scores with it. So, she shoots state records with the Supra. So we're going to take it outside and have a shot with it and see how it goes. Okay, so we're outside to shoot the PSE Supra, to go through the draw cycle and go through the speed test with this bow. I do want to mention they've made the grip wider in 2016, so a lot of people who didn't like the PSE grips in the past, this is now a wider grip, more comfortable, and people have really responded well to the wider grip as opposed to the narrow grip. A lot of people thought the narrow grip was too narrow. So I'm just going to go through the draw cycle. The draw cycle on the Supra is not as easy as some other bows, even though it's only a 325 feet per second bow. I found some other bows much easier to draw than this bow, but it's still comfortable to shoot. So let's go through it. I'm drawing, it's hard, 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 hard. Starting to get easy there, and dead stop. Now I'm going to pull as hard as I can, and you can see, I'm going to let this down. You can see as I pull back as hard as I can, basically I get no movement, and that's why lots of people don't even shoot with the limb stops on this bow. Now, one thing I also want to mention is limb deflections on this bow, because one of my customers during the week asked about limb deflections on his bow, and he was worried about paper tuning. Now, PSE use different limbs on each one of these bows. Now, why they do that is for cam lean. So now if cam's lean, it's really not an issue, as far as it's not going to affect your shot. It's going to affect how it shoots through paper, maybe, but every shot will still be the same. Now, the way PSE overcome it is each limb's a different poundage. So this limb here is always the lightest, because when they pull on the cables, this one's pulling the hardest. So they make this limb the lightest, and this limb is sometimes the heaviest. So if I go here, it's 120, 126, down the bottom is 127, and this one here is 130. So it goes lightest, second lightest, third lightest, heaviest. So in this one, they've gone around in a full circle. Now, basically, as long as it's in that order, where this is the lightest, that's the most important one. That's all that matters. It doesn't affect your shooting, because this bow is going to be consistent every time. You know, Darryl Pace won the World Recurve Championships in Canberra in 1980 with twisted limbs on his recurve bow. As long as they're not moving, as long as it's consistent every time, the bow's going to shoot the same every time. So for me, I don't tend to worry about it that much. I just shoot, because there's so much more variation in the archer than the bow. But with the serial, with the numbers, it's not like this limb's got to be the same as that limb. It's not like that. They make up the sets of limbs, and it's not like, well, your bow's got 119, mine's got 120. Really very little difference. As long as these two limbs here are different, these two down the bottom should be somewhere around the same. In this case, it's 130, 127, so three deflection points different. I've seen them almost identical. It really doesn't make that much difference. So just bear that in mind. So so the draw cycle on this was quite hard. It takes a while, I find, to get used to. The Beast is definitely easier. Matthews Chill easier. Martin Lithium easier. But this is a solid draw, and what you're looking for in a target bow is that solid. You get back to the wall and it's solid, and you can pull hard into it and the bow's not going to move. You get consistency. We're just going to draw this back one more time. So solid, 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 solid. Starting to get easy there, easy, and then I'm straight into the wall, and the wall's rock hard. So now I'm going to take this shot. Now, on that wall with the target archers, what they find is they want to pull really hard into the wall. Now, with this bow, you've got the cable stop down the bottom, and you also have the option of a limb stop at the top. Like I said, a lot of people don't shoot limb stops, so because they don't find they need to. And having a limb stop, you've got to physically find the spot where it stops, because there's no setting there, because a lot of that's just personal preference. So overall, I really like the bow. I like the draw cycle. Now, I'm shooting the same. I'm going to test this bow with the same arrows I do for every other bow test. The bow's set on 55 pounds, 29 inches. These are gold tip velocity 400s with 90 grain point in the front end. So quite a fast arrow, so we're going to shoot that through and see what sort of speeds we get. Now in the past with the Evolve, which we just tested, it was a 340 feet per second bow and we got 310. So I'm kind of expecting around the 290s for a 320. This is a 325 feet per second bow. So around the 290s you're going to be pretty comfortable with. That was 288. Let's grab the arrows. We'll just shoot a couple more now. With the Evolved one, we found we got a bit of difference in speed. Now it didn't affect the accuracy down the target range, but we got a bit of difference. It can be light, it can be the position where you shoot, because I'm actually shooting quite a bit higher than where the speed mix chronograph is. So this would be more accurate if I was straight on top of the chronograph. So I'll try and get down a little bit lower this time. .287. So, and I shot this once before and the video stopped. I got 290. So that's kind of where I expected. Now the bow has a little bit more shock than some of the other bows, but it's not bad. Like there's no inherent vibration after the shot, but it does shoot like a target bow. I mean, a lot less than the Hoyt, although I expect the Hyper Edge is fine because it has the compression limbs as well. But it's a nice bow to shoot. You know, you put stabilizers on it. The balance of this bow, you'll see, leans back a little bit in the hand. Now the reason for that is this bow is going to be shot with big long target stabilizers at the front end. So having it lean back a little bit in your hand, basically because you're going to be shooting a big long stabilizer out the front, and you won't need as much weight on the back. And basically you want the weight out the front. Because that's going to stop you torquing moving the bow. So we're going to take this inside now, shoot some 18 meters with it, shoot the groups and see how it goes. Thank you. Okay, so we're here to test fire the new 2017 Supra on the shooting range at 18 meters. Now I've got it set up with a basic hunting sight, a basic whisker biscuit, D-loop, no peep sight. I'm shooting my normal arrows, normal release age, and we're just going to see how it groups. Now my breathing's not real good today, so I'm not making excuses before I start because I know this bow will shoot fine. But yeah, my breathing's not real good, so let's just see how it groups. I don't know, like I saw that one, but that one got in my face. But let's shoot these arrows. Like, it feels really nice to shoot. This is one of my favorite bows of like 2016, 2017. I think it looks cool, I think it shoots great, I think the price is really, really good. And I also, a lot of people have had big success with this bow. I mean, they've grabbed the bow and they've shot really good scores with it straight off the bat. In fact, I really haven't known anyone who brought the Supra who hasn't enjoyed it and shot really, really well with it. I mean, the only Supra I've sold second hand, so someone brought it and sold it, was a guy who had a draw length in excess of the Supra. So he brought it thinking he was, I think, 30 and a half, and he turned up to be 31. I think that's the only Supra I've ever sold second hand. So. Now with my asthma, basically reduces my lung capacity, so I have shorter breaths. I'm a little bit more shaky because I just can't get the air into my lungs. So yeah, so it's a bit disappointing, but we'll see how it turns out. Actually, one more. So we'll go down there and we'll check out the arrows. So I'm down here at the target. These are the arrows I've shot. That's the size of the group there. I would like it tighter. I'm not sure how much it's affected by my breathing. Like it's not a bad group. Obviously the group's a little bit low because I haven't sighted the bow in properly. You know, I can get my fingers around it. Now that grouping will improve with stabilizer, and obviously if my breath was better. But overall I'm happy with that. I feel like probably the evolution was better, but my breathing was better back then. So I mean, the Supra, basically I've got a whole bunch of people who shoot perfect scores with that bow. So to me, the accuracy, the ease of shooting the bow is not a question, because I've got so many people who have grabbed that bow and shot personal bests with it. I have got one guy in the shop who grabbed it first time he shot and shot a perfect 300. So for me, the ease of shooting the Supra, the whole what it's like as a target bow to shoot spots with, I don't have a question at all about, because everyone I know who's got them have shot good scores with it. And when I say hunters, recreational shooters who have this bow and have hunting bows, they shoot better scores with this. Now, how much better is your score going to be than a hunting bow? If I use one of my customers, Andrew, as an example, he's got one of these and he's got a Decree. So top of the line hunting bow, set up with all hunting stuff, like full hunting stabilizers, full hunting sight. Indoors, he'll shoot about a 288, 289 out of 300. Now with his Supra, he's got it set up at the moment. I think he's got a big long stabilizer on the front end. I think he's shooting around 291, so he's picked up about 3 points. Now 3 points is not a lot to pick up, but if you're at the Nationals, like I was 2 points off second. One thing I love about the Supra, if you're on a shooting range and you're shooting with one of these and it costs you, $1,400, and the guy next to you's got a bow which costs $2,800, and you win, and you probably will because I think this is a better bow. It feels good, because it's like having a Ferrari racing against a Toyota Supra, and the Supra outperforms a Ferrari. It's like my car actually costs a tenth of yours, but my car's faster. Same with arrows. I have my arrows are $200 odd a dozen, and my recurve arrows are about $200 a dozen. I shoot against people who are shooting $800 a dozen arrows, and I can outshoot them. And I'm like, you're trying to buy a couple of points and you're not putting the time into shooting, and literally it's a couple of points. But to me, this bow is anywhere as good as any bow made. It's got the compression limbs, which I think the performance, it's faster than other target bows. It's got the draw stops. It has everything you need in a target bow to shoot well. So there's no downside on this bow at all. You know, the upside on the expression with the bridged riser, I think it's minimal. So yeah, to me this is really good. Now what I want to do is I want to show you some of my staff Supras. I'll show you their bows and show you how they've set their bows up. Okay, so this is Theo's Supra who works here. Now he's got V-bars at the back, B-Stinger V-bars with these massive amount of weight. At the front he's shooting a B-Stinger stabilizer with a huge chunk of weight. Now the more weight you put, the harder it is to move. Now to me this bow weighs a ton, but if you see Theo, he works out at the gym and he's pretty big, so he'd be twice as strong as I am. Now it's all black because he likes black. It's got a Titan scope, an XL sight, Biter sunshade over it. He's shooting a Spod Hog Infinity Rest with a spring system, basic D-loop. He's shooting a specialty peep, which you can change the size with a lens to clear up the scope. That's the bow he chooses. Now I'll show you the next one. This one, this is a 50-pound Supra shot by Tracy. It's red. It has the B-Stinger stabilizer. Now there's a bit of a thing going on here with B-Stinger stabilizers. Now B-Stinger are very, very stiff, so you get no vibration through them and you can add lots of weight. Now she doesn't have a lot of weight on the front, she's only got a little bit. Basically basic V-bars, very little weight on the back end here to balance it up. So her balance, I'll just balance the bow. Her balance is slightly forward. She's using a hyper slide, achieve sight, Titan scope. The rest she's using is a Spot Hog Infinity spring system with a Biter blade. And she shoots really, really well with this. Now I'll see if I can get Tristan's Supra, because his is custom painted, and show you how he set up his Supra. Okay, so this is Tristan's Supra. He's custom painted it red, custom strings. He's using a single rear weight at the back and a front weight. He's using actually cheap stabilizers. These are Crux stabilizers. They've been painted to the same color as the riser, but they're quite cheap stabilizers, around $50 for a stabilizer. He's shooting the XL sight with the AV scope at the front, and yeah, that's basically it. So that's that's staff's bows. Some of them aren't here, but these are the bows which were here today, so no problem. So yeah, check out the Supra at your local store. They're pretty cool and they shoot really, really well. Thank you.